Bonjour mes amis, bonjour. C'est une petite révision pour l'examen final. This revision should help you study for your final exam and also to prepare for your oral exam, which is coming up this week. Starting right at the beginning with the subject pronouns. This should look very familiar right now. Je, nous, tu, vous. Tu is informal, vous formal or plural. When you're talking directly to somebody, you. Il, elle, on. Il, elle, pluriel. You know all of this. Le verbe être. Je suis, tu es, il est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont. This should be automatique. Le verbe être is going to help you talk about yourself in the oral exam. Je suis optimiste et sociable. Or you could talk about your family members. Mon frère est riche et timide. Ma sœur est jeune et stupide. Non, je ne sais pas. But look at all of these adjectives on page 34 that you could use to describe yourself or people in your family or your friends. Beau, beautiful, laid, ugly, tall, grand, grande, short, petit, petite, old, vieux, vieille, sportif, sportive, élégant, élégante, etc. So take a look at this list. You should have at least 3 or 4, maybe more, adjectives that you could use to describe yourself or your family members for the oral exam. And you know already that the adjective has to agree with the noun that it is describing. If it is a person, then it's the gender of the person. And if it's a thing, an object, we know that all objects have a gender as well. So you already know that the most common way to make an adjective feminine is simply add an E. Content becomes contente. Méchant, mean, becomes méchante. Jolie becomes jolie. Same pronunciation, just a different spelling. And here are some other common patterns. If it ends in an F, you add a VE for the feminine. Sportif, sportive. EUX becomes EUSE. Remember what these words mean? Ennuyeux, boring. Paresseux, lazy. And then you need to make the adjective plural if necessary, and usually just by adding an S. Il est intelligent, ils sont intelligents. So again, we don't hear that S, but we see it in spelling. If the word already ends in an S, no change is needed. And then these are the two very strange adjectives that never change, not for feminine, not for plural. Marron, orange. Elle est, what adjectives would you use to describe the Wicked Witch? Elle est méchante. Elle est laide. Elle est intelligente, oui. How about this guy? C'est un chat. Il est gros. Il est paresseux, possiblement. Elle est jolie, elle est mince, elle est sympathique, elle est élégante. Oui. Oh, il est laid. Il est poilu. Elle est, how do we say talkative? Elle est bavarde. Elle est sociable. Jackie Chan, il est fort. Il est sportif, n'est-ce pas? And then we learned negative. You've been using it this whole time. You're making a sandwich. The ne pas, make a sandwich with the verb in the middle. Je ne suis pas. Elle n'est pas. Remember, in front of a vowel, the N becomes N, the ne becomes N apostrophe. Nous ne sommes pas. and you really emphasize the pas when you speak it. Je ne suis pas. Elle est méchante. Elle n'est pas sympathique. Oui. Okay, l'adjectif. You know this already. The adjective follows the noun that it describes in most cases. Un étudiant intelligent. Une étudiante timide. Des étudiantes sympas. After the noun. Except in the case of what we call the bags adjectives. And the bags stands for beauty, age, goodness, and size. So joli, beau, jeune, vieux. Goodness is literally bon, good or bad, bon or mauvais. And size is short, tall, and fat. Une jolie femme, un vieux chien, un bon restaurant. Okay. Par exemple, Clint Eastwood est un jeune acteur ou un vieil acteur? C'est un vieil acteur. We're using a special form here, remember, because the word acteur begins in a noun, and a vowel, sorry. Selena Gomez est une jolie actrice. Los Angeles est une petite ville ou une grande ville? Très grande ville, oui. Julia Roberts est une bonne actrice? Mais oui. Le verbe avoir. The second of our 4 major French verbs. J'ai, tu as, il a. This is just one tiny little letter. Nous avons, vous avez, ils ont. And we're using the verb avoir to describe appearance, hair and eyes. Elle a les cheveux bruns et longs et ondulés, wavy, right? Il a les cheveux noirs et courts, short, etc. And we also can use avoir to describe eye color. Elle a les yeux bleus. Il a les yeux noirs. You notice how all of these adjectives have an S at the end, except for marron, which is the exception, and roux, which is X. X does not need an S at the end. Tu as les cheveux bouclés, curly, frisés, very curly, ou lisses, straight. Remember the ER verbs. You know so many of these ER verbs. It's the largest group of what we call regular verbs. That means all of them are conjugated in the same way. So this is the pattern. When you're forming a sentence with je, you take off the ER and you add an I. Je joue, par exemple. Je chante. Je danse. I, IS for tu. I for il and elle and on. Il, elle, plural, add an ENT. And remember, in this red boot, all of these are pronounced the same. So you would say, elle chante and elle chante. Do not pronounce that ENT. And then ONS for nous, easy for vous. For example, aimer, to like or to love. J'aime. Tu aimes, il aime, ils aiment. You can hear the liaison here, but you cannot hear a difference in the pronunciation of the verb. Nous aimons, vous aimez. And look at all of these other ER verbs that we have learned. You've been using these the whole time. Which of these activities could you use to describe what you do on the weekend? What your parents do, what your friends do, what your brother or sister do. This will be important in your final oral exam, and also you'll write a short composition in your final exam. So what do you do on the weekend? J'écoute le rap. J'étudie à la bibliothèque. Je joue au foot. Je mange une pizza. Je regarde Netflix ou Hulu ou YouTube. Je travaille. Remember, travailler is to work. Voyager is to travel. Okay, and we know this. You can use two verbs. When you use two verbs, you conjugate the first verb. That means you put it in the correct form for whatever the subject is, and you leave the second verb in the infinitive. That is, you leave the ER on it. So, j'aime danser. Je n'aime pas chanter. Nous adorons parler français. Oups. Les étudiants aiment travailler. Right? Les sports et les passe-temps. Now, this won't be in the final exam, but again, you will want to use some of this in your oral exam when you talk about what you do. J'aime le football. Je regarde le football américain. Je fais du yoga. J'adore le surf. Right? Remember, we learned all these films, film dramatique, film d'horreur, une comédie romantique, une comédie, right? You can talk about the types of films that you like. J'adore les comédies. Je déteste les films d'horreur. And you can also talk about what kind of music you listen to. J'aime le rock. Je n'aime pas le jazz. Je préfère le rap. J'écoute la country. Or you could say you listen to a specific artist. J'écoute Carrie Underwood, or j'écoute Drake. We learned about the articles. Articles are the little words that come before nouns. A noun is a person, place, or thing, right? And in French, we said every noun has to have some sort of article in front of it. Even in cases where we would just use nothing in English, we still need to have that little article. So these are the indefinite articles. So an, or some, un livre, a book, des livres, some books, une chaise, des chaises. And we said un, une, des changed to de in the negative. So vous avez un chien. Do you have a dog? J'ai un chien. Or non, je n'ai pas de chien. Le prof habite une maison ou un appartement. Mes amis mangent des tacos. Now, what does that mean? My friends eat tacos. So that's a good example. In English, we have nothing before the word tacos. We say they eat tacos. But in French, you have to have something. And since we're not saying how many tacos, just some tacos, we just use des, indefinite article. The definite article means the in some cases. So, le livre, les livres, l'ordinateur in front of a vowel, la chaise, l'université, etc. So, for example, Katy Perry a une maison à Los Angeles. She has a house. La maison de Katy Perry est grande. So now we know which specific house we're talking about in the second sentence. We're saying the house of Katy Perry, or in English we have that very handy apostrophe S, Katy Perry's house. But in French there's no apostrophe S. You have to say la maison de Katy Perry. Vous aimez les escargots? La pizza est délicieuse. So we use it. We use le lalé to refer to a specific noun. So we're saying the specific thing. So Taylor Swift a un chat. Le chat de Taylor est blanc. The cat, so Taylor's cat, is white. We use it to refer to a general category or all members of a group. So if I said les chats sont paresseux, cats in general. Cats are lazy. So again, in English, we don't say the cats. We just say cats are lazy. But in French, we have to have something there. We're talking about all cats. And then this is very important. Le, la, les is always used after these four verbs of preference. Aimer, adorer, préférer, détester. So, I love pizza or I adore pizza. J'adore la pizza. J'adore les comédies. Je déteste le football. Right? Le, la, les. So this exercise will definitely be on the final exam or something similar. So pause the PowerPoint and do this quickly and we will check your answers. Okay. Tu as animaux domestiques. Now we're not talking about a specific, we're just talking in general. Do you have pets? Plural, right? So we have to use the plural form of the indefinite article. Matt says, I have a cat. Un chat, a cat. And fish. In English, we would just say, I have fish. But in French, again, you have to use something here. And so this is the des. Et toi? Maddie, j'aime. She's using a verb of preference here. So we're going to say, and this is plural, j'aime les poissons. Mais je préfère, this is another verb of preference, les chiens. J'ai un petit chien. I have a small dog. Chien de Marie. Okay, now we're talking about a specific dog. Marie's dog. Le chien de Marie est très grand. Matt. Je n'ai je n'ai pas de chien. Je déteste. Verb of preference, les chiens. Oh my goodness, who would hate dogs? So silly. Okay, les adjectifs possessifs. How do you say my, your, his, her, etc.? Three forms, masculine, feminine, and plural. Mon mamé, ton tate, son sasé. Then when we get into the plural, the masculine and feminine are the same. Votre, notre, leur. But watch out for these. Vos, nos, and leur with an S. And because these are adjectives, they have to agree with what they are describing. So if we say, c'est le sac de Taylor, le sac, we're talking about a specific purse, right? If we want to say it's her bag, don't let me fool you here. Sac is masculine, so we say, c'est son sac. C'est son sac. Even though in English we say it's her bag. In French, the adjective agrees with the noun it describes. C'est la famille de William. It's his family. La famille is feminine, so we'd say c'est sa famille. Don't let that fool you, his and her. Ce sont les chiens de Paris Hilton. Those are her dogs. Ce sont ses chiens. C'est la maison de Beyoncé Jay-Z. It is their house. Remember, house is singular. C'est leur maison. So there's not an S on leur because maison is singular. You're always looking at the word that comes after that possessive adjective. C'est mon café ou ton café? C'est mon café. C'est notre classe. Ce sont nos amis. Okay. La famille. There will be a short exercise on this vocabulary on the final exam. And also, again, it's another good topic to discuss in your oral exam. You can talk a lot about who's in your family and what they're like, what they look like, what they do on the weekend. So make sure that you have this, you know how to say all these people. Very important pronunciation. Sa sœur. Sœur. It sounds like the English word sir, S-I-R. So don't, even though it's O-E-U, don't say anything other than sœur. From the perspective of Cyril, here's another one that can be hard to pronounce. Son fils. Pronounce that S. Sa fille. Sa fille. Son fils. Daughter and son. Okay. Something similar to this will be on the final exam. practice the flashcards. So, pratiquer. My mother is a mother masculine or feminine? Well, of course, ma mère. Her sister is sister masculine or feminine. Don't worry about this word her or his. Look at this. Sa sœur. How would you say his sister? Oh, this hasn't changed. It's still feminine. Sa sœur. Our cousin, singular. Notre cousin. Their brothers. Okay, this is plural. Be careful. Leur frère with an S. Your aunt, if you're talking to more than one person, I'm going to use vous, right? Votre tante. Your friends, informal, you're using tu. Tes amis. Practice the flashcards. Les numéros. So the listening portion of the final exam will be numbers. So be sure to review your numbers 0 to 20. These right here tend to be sticklers for people 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Then you know the counting by tens, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I won't ask you to spell out the numbers, but just to be able to recognize them in a listening exercise. And then it gets weird, right? 70 for 70. 71, 72. And then 80, 80 for 20s. 90, 90. Wow, it gets even more complicated. Goodness. 100, 200, 1000, 1578. So be able to say some of these big numbers or to understand them on the final exam. Le verbe aller, this is our third big important verb. Aller, je vais, tu vas, il va. Nous allons, vous allez, ils vont. Right? Comment allez-vous? We've been using this since day one. Comment vas-tu? Je vais bien. Nous allons bien. And then when we're talking about going to somewhere, again, it matters whether that somewhere is feminine, alla, masculine, au, begins with a vowel, à l'université, l'apostrophe, or plural, aux toilettes, par exemple. Où est-ce que tu vas le samedi matin, le samedi soir, etc. These are all useful places that you can add to your sentences in your oral exam or in your essay. Je vais à la bibliothèque le dimanche et j'étudie la biologie, for example. Aller plus infinitive. This is very important that you understand this. So this is how we say sentences in the future. And it's the same in English. You say, what are you going to do tonight? I'm gonna grab a burger at In-N-Out. You're using two verbs. I'm going to grab, right? I'm going to eat. Je vais manger. I'm going to eat. Tu vas aller. You're going to go. Nous allons regarder. We're going to watch. So just as we have always done with two verbs, remember when we said j'aime danser? So you're conjugating that first verb, you're putting it in the correct form to match the subject. And then the second verb just stays in the infinitive. Very easy. You will have to use the future in your compositions, in your oral exam. So make sure you understand this. Do the flashcards. Practice with your conversation partner. Negative, je ne vais pas. And then the infinitive follows it. Je ne vais pas travailler. I'm not going to work. Ce soir, tu vas étudier. Ta mère va parler au téléphone. Oui. Oui, elle va parler. Tes amis vont manger au restaurant? Oui. Ils vont manger. Est-ce que je vais regarder la télé? Oui, vous allez regarder. Okay. Négatif, je ne vais pas, elle ne va pas, nous n'allons pas, Ils ne vont pas, etc. And then the last big essential French verb, faire. Je fais, tu fais, il fait, nous faisons, vous faites, ils font. There will be an exercise on the final exam that will be just these 4 big verbs. So être, avoir, aller, and faire. You need to know these like the back of your hand because these are used all the time in French. Vous aimez faire les devoirs. So we learned all of these expressions that use the verb faire. And you only need to know the ones that are useful to you. You like to cook? Well, you should know this one. Faire la cuisine. Do you like to go surfing? You should know this one. Faire du surf. Faire du shopping. What do you like to do? Do you like to do yoga? Faire du yoga. J'aime faire du yoga. This weekend, ce week-end, je vais faire du yoga, etc. And then finally, we learned how to talk about the weather. Quel temps fait-il? What is the weather like? Il fait beau, il fait chaud, il fait froid, il fait frais, il fait du vent, il fait du soleil, il neige, il pleut. Ça va? Vous comprenez? Alors, merci beaucoup mes amis, bon courage et bonne chance cette semaine. Au revoir.